In the beginning, before sky or sea, before the first whisper of wind, there was only a vast nothingness. The Greeks called it chaos, not noise or confusion, but a great void. Out of this emptiness came the first forces of existence: night and day, earth and sky, darkness and love. Primordial beings who were not yet gods as we know them, but powers woven into the fabric of creation itself. From them emerged Gaia, the earth, and Uranus, the sky, whose embrace gave birth to the Titans, ancient beings of immense strength and beauty. But Uranus, fearing their strength, imprisoned some of his children deep within the earth. Gaia, in anguish, urged her son Cronus to strike. With a sickle, he overthrew his father, and from Uranus's blood came the Furies, the giants, and even Aphrodite, born from the sea foam. Cronus now ruled, but he too lived in fear of prophecy, that one of his children would overthrow him. So each time his wife Rhea bore a child, he swallowed it whole. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon all vanished into his belly. But when Zeus was born, Rhea hid him in a cave and tricked Cronus with a stone wrapped in cloth. Zeus grew in secret until the time came for revenge. He forced Cronus to release his siblings, and together they waged a war against the Titans. For 10 years the battle raged, shaking heaven and earth, until the Olympians emerged victorious. The Titans were hurled into Tartarus, and Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades divided the cosmos, sky, sea, and underworld, with Zeus as king of the gods. But the victory was not complete. From the earth arose Typhon, a monstrous serpent whose fire threatened the gods themselves. Yet Zeus stood firm, hurling his thunderbolts until Typhon was crushed beneath Mount Etna. Order had triumphed, and the age of the Olympians began. The new gods were not distant rulers, but vivid personalities whose passions often spilled into the lives of mortals. Hera, queen of heaven, guarded marriage, yet seethed with jealousy at Zeus's endless affairs. Poseidon ruled the seas, sometimes blessing sailors, other times destroying them in fury. Athena, born from Zeus's head fully armed, embodied wisdom and strategy, guiding heroes and protecting cities. Aphrodite inspired desire in gods and men alike. Apollo brought light and prophecy, Artemis roamed the wild as a huntress, and Dionysus blurred the lines between joy and madness. The Olympians were flawed yet majestic, a divine reflection of human nature itself. Their dramas were mirrored in the struggles of heroes. Hercules, son of Zeus, was famed for strength, but cursed by Hera's hatred. In madness, he slew his own family and was forced to perform 12 impossible labors, slaying the Nemean lion, battling the Hydra, capturing the golden stag, and even descending into the underworld to bring back Cerberus. Each trial was more than brute force. It was a confrontation with chaos, a reminder that heroism is born from suffering as much as glory. Perseus, guided by Athena and Hermes, sought the head of Medusa, whose gaze turned men to stone. With cunning, he struck her down and escaped with her severed head, a weapon that later saved his people. Theseus, the Athenian hero, ventured into the labyrinth to slay the Minotaur, saved only by Ariadne's thread, a symbol of reason guiding him through darkness. Jason and the Argonauts sailed in search of the Golden Fleece, tested by loyalty, cunning, and love. Each story reflected the Greek vision of life, a struggle shaped by divine favor and human courage. But not all myths told of triumph. Many served as warnings. The Greeks believed in fate, and not even Zeus could escape it. Oedipus, fleeing his prophecy, walked straight into its fulfillment. Achilles, the greatest warrior of Troy, chose a short life of glory, knowing it would end in death. Hubris, the arrogance of mortals who defied the gods, often brought destruction. Arachne boasted she could weave better than Athena and was turned into a spider. Niobe mocked the goddess Leto, claiming superiority, and saw her children struck down. These tales reminded mortals of their limits, teaching that pride and defiance led only to ruin. Yet not all myths were about punishment. Some spoke of love, beauty, and sorrow. Orpheus, the musician whose songs charmed even stones, descended into the underworld to reclaim his beloved Eurydice. Hades, moved by his devotion, allowed her to return, but only if Orpheus did not look back until they reached the surface. Just as the light of the upper world was near, doubt overcame him, and he turned. Eurydice vanished forever, leaving only the echo of his song. In that tale lies the fragility of hope and the deep grief of loss. For the Greeks, these myths were not mere stories. They were explanations of the world's mysteries. Thunder was Zeus's anger, the sea's restlessness was Poseidon's mood. The cycles of life were Demeter's grief and joy for her daughter Persephone, who spent half the year in Hades and half under the sun. Festivals, sacrifices, and temples connected the people to their gods, turning myth into living belief. Theater brought myths to life, allowing entire cities to reflect on human folly, divine justice, and the delicate balance of life. What makes these stories endure is their humanity. They are not simple tales of gods on high, but mirrors of ourselves, of ambition and weakness, love and jealousy, courage and despair. They remind us that even in the face of fate, humans strive for meaning, and even in the shadow of tragedy, they search for glory. The Greeks understood that life is not simple or neat. It is a mixture of beauty and pain, of victories and defeats, of chaos and order. And in their myths, they preserved that truth. Today, thousands of years later, these myths still resonate. They inspire novels, films, and art. They are retold and reimagined, yet at their core, they remain timeless. The stories of creation, of gods and heroes, of love and loss, of pride and downfall. They remind us that though the world changes, human nature remains the same. To enter these myths is to step into a vast tapestry where mortals and immortals walk side by side, where the struggles of the past still echo in the present, and where the search for meaning continues without end. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of ancient myths, don't forget to subscribe for more stories from history's past. From gods and heroes to empires and revolutions, we bring the ancient world back to life, one story at a time. Join us and let history speak.